Peace, family. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, family. Peace. We back. We back with another Instagram live. Peace, mystery. Peace. Peace, God. Yeah, we gotta let the hair grow. We gotta let the hair grow. You know, it's we in times of war. We in times of war. We gotta let the hair grow, man. We in times of war. You know what I'm saying? That's my antennas. I need that. A young soldier needs that. You feel me? Peace, God. I am Kia J. Peace, Queen. Peace to all the family coming into the building. You know, we're going to chop up some good game tonight with the family. I'm not going to be on here too long, but I want to chop up some good game. You know, we're going to talk about, tonight, we're going to talk about Juneteenth. We're going to talk about, especially the main topic, I want to talk about people watering down our movements, like like members of the LGBTQ community, watering down our communities and watering down our movements going forward. We got to talk about that. You said no headband tonight. I didn't really notice it wasn't on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to you. I'm thugging tonight. You dig? But shout out to the family. Where's the family listening from tonight? Where's all the family listening from tonight? You dig? And let me thank the family as well. You know, I want to thank y'all every time I come on the lives, man. We doing numbers with the Voice of the Ancestor series. We're doing great numbers with the Voice of the Ancestor series. You know, Voice of the Ancestors Volume 1 released in March last year and has stayed in the top 100 books on Amazon. It has continued to stay in the top 100 books on Amazon, and that's nothing but the family. That's nothing but y'all spreading the word. Man, that's tremendous. You know, it's in the number, I believe the last time I checked, it was number 35 in ancient Egyptian history. Number 35, and we're talking about in a category that has over 1 million books. You see what I'm saying? Because it's an all-time list. And for my book to be number 35, and it's been out a year, it's not like it just came out and a lot of people buying it. Man, that's nothing but the family. That's nothing but the family. Said listening from, shout out to you. Shout out to you, brother. Okay. Atlanta, Texas, New Jersey, a lot of brothers and sisters, man. You know, and I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that in my sales, man. I'm getting a lot of brothers and sisters from the UK supporting. I have a lot of brothers and sisters in Australia supporting. Somebody in Japan bought my book. A lot of brothers and sisters in Maryland. Shout out to Maryland. Maryland does more numbers than Atlanta, and I'm from Atlanta. So a lot of people buy my book from Atlanta, but Maryland does more numbers than Atlanta. Shout out to New Jersey and New York as well. A lot of people. Shout out to the Bronx. Shout out to Brooklyn. My name of my book is Voice of the Ancestors. You can find that link in the bio. But like I say, for it to be number 35, family, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. That's nothing but the family showing love and support. And that's why I come on here and speak truth to power every time. You see what I'm saying? Because we had the juice. We don't need nobody else to support. You know, that's why I don't shuck and jive. I can go a lot lighter than I do. I can come on here and talk about, well, you know, we had white abolitionists and you know, white people. We need white people in the struggle. And I can sell a few more copies probably. You see what I'm saying? That make it comfortable enough for white people. No. We ain't got no friends. We got to speak truth to power. We got to speak truth to power, family. You dig? You know, and I hope everybody, speaking of our ancestors, I hope everybody had a good Juneteenth weekend. We did something special down here in Atlanta. Shout out to Kelly, Miss Kelly down here in Atlanta. Shout out to my brother King Kyle down here in Atlanta. Had a black business event. Really just a celebration, man. It was a beautiful day. Had a cookout. A lot of black business, a lot of black vendors. You know, I dropped a good little bit of bread off some of these black businesses. I got my CMOS game going back again, you know, so a lot of good herbs and things to buy. It was beautiful to see all the people come together. And I hope you spent money with black businesses this weekend. Because see, we gotta get out of the symbolic phase. You know, it's cool to celebrate, but we gotta start exchanging money through hands, you know. The average dollar in the black community leaves the community every 6 hours. We got to change that. We got to get better and better with that every year. So I hope this Juneteenth you spent nothing but with black businesses. Nothing but with black businesses, family. We got to correct that. The average dollar leaves every 6 hours. We can't have that. We can't have that. You know what I'm saying? Compared to the Jewish community, members of the white Jewish community, their dollar leaves, I believe, every 18 days. You see what I'm saying? So for more than 2 weeks, their dollar doesn't leave their community. We got to get back right. You see what I'm saying? We got to get back right. Yeah, man, y'all got to get it popping out there in the UK. You know, we need to have black hubs everywhere. That's why a lot of brothers and sisters, you know, with all the turmoil that's going on around the country, they always talking about, you know, we need to go back to Africa. Oh, we need to go and we need to lead the United States family. We can't run from systematic white supremacy. We have to stay and fight. Everywhere you must stay and fight. Everywhere must be a safe haven for black people. Just like when Chinese people go everywhere, there's a Chinatown. They go to Europe, there's a Chinatown in Europe. There's a Chinatown in America. You see what I'm saying? Outside of their traditional location. Chinese folks damn near own the Caribbeans. They're buying up Jamaica and places like that. So we have to start setting up hubs. We can't just say, oh, we're going to run to one place. And we are the original people everywhere. You see what I'm saying? We got to start setting up hubs. Yes, sir. Stay and fight. We must stay and fight. You dig? So I hope everybody had a good Juneteenth weekend and so forth. And happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. You know, of course, you know, shout out to my pops. Shout out to all the great fathers out there. Shout out to the honorary fathers. Brothers who might not be biological fathers, but who act as father figures for a lot of young brothers coming up. These are your football coaches, your boxing coaches, just alpha males in the community. You see what I'm saying? Who give that hand, who give that knowledge and wisdom to young brothers out there. Shout out to them too. Shout out to them too. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. But let's get it popping. You know, I want to talk about today, because I said I didn't want to be on here too long. I want to talk about watering or sweetening the movement, the black movement. You know, our great ancestor Malcolm X once says that the only thing he liked integrated was his coffee. The only thing he liked integrated with his coffee. And as descendants of Malcolm, because we are all descendants of Malcolm and his words and his ideologies and his speeches that he gave us, we must take what he said and build on that. And I'm here to tell you, in 2020, we can't even integrate our coffee. Integration is dangerous, family. Integration is dangerous. And what am I talking about? Recently, you had, I can't remember exactly where it was, but it's in my bio. Recently, you had this coalition, or this attempted coalition, where people are trying to combine Black Lives Matter with the LGBTQ community in their movement. They're trying to link the two together. Today in Maryland, you had somebody who was lifting a flag with the LGBTQ colors on there and with Black Lives Matter flag on there. See, family, we can't mix the two. You can't mix the two. We're not going to play that game anymore. We have to learn from what the ancestors left us. You see what I'm saying? We have to learn from what the ancestors left us. We've tried the coalitions before. This is nothing that we haven't tried. In the 60s, Dr. King, he allowed them to say minorities. He allowed everybody to be in this together. And we see for the last 60 years it has not worked out. Some people, the people who wasn't even on the front lines when it was wartime, are getting the benefits that our ancestors laid down and died for. We can't have that. We can't have that. You see what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to the LGBTQ community, because one thing is clear. You can't be fighting against oppression and have your oppressors on your team. Let me say that one more time. You can't be fighting against oppression and have the oppressors on your team. You can't have a coalition between the two, the oppressed and the oppressors. It doesn't make sense, family. It doesn't make sense. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I know Black Lives Matter. We're going to get on that too. You know, it was founded by a white man. Or it's definitely funded by a white man, George Soros. And 2 lesbian women. A brother brought that to my attention today. And we see that. We see that. And this is why we have to get away from using certain terms like Black Lives Matter. Because every time we use that term is synonymous almost with LGBTQ. It's synonymous. Both of those are going hand in hand at this point. And we can't have that. Because see, every time we start to get tangibles, every time black people are fighting for resources, notice it's always another group that wants to get involved. It's always another group that wants to get involved. You see what I'm saying? And this is nothing against my LGBT brothers and sisters, because I'm not speaking to the solid ones, because there's some solid brothers and sisters out there in the LGBTQ community. I'm speaking to the coons. I'm speaking to these Negroes who want to throw in their sexuality in with black folks. Because all this is, family, is when we come to time to give resources, when it comes time to get tangibles, they're going to be trying to allocate those funds to the white LGBTQ community. And we can't have that. We can't have that. See, you can't say that black people view going through all this oppression, but so have LGBTQ people. No. Because they were the ones who participated in our oppression. You know, I talked about that last time. You have slave owners who were members of the LGBTQ community. We ain't got no coalition. They're team white supremacy. Because we have to remember, according to UCLA studies, and this is something we also have to bring up, about 15% of the LGBTQ community is black. Now, why do I say that? Because most people, they love to spread the lie that most black people are LGBTQ. Because that's all you see. All you see in the media is LGBTQ black folks. We're always made, and I can always tell y'all this, we are made the face of everything that has an agenda to it. So coronavirus, it's disproportionately affecting the black community. They make black folks the face. You see what I'm saying? When it comes to crime, black folks are the face. When it comes to LGBTQ, black folks are the face. Even though we're truly, according to statistics, we're not the face of any of these things. When it comes to diseases, AIDS, black folks are the face. Even though white people have AIDS more than black people. You see what I'm saying? They always make us the face of everything bad or everything that's coming with an agenda on it. You see what I'm saying? I want y'all to pay attention to that. So when we talk about LGBTQ, they make black people the face. Because they want to make it seem like, oh, we got some type of a coalition with the LGBTQ community, even though the LGBTQ community is mostly whites and Hispanics. Let's be clear on that. It's mostly white and Hispanic. And if you look at the 15%, we make up 13% of the population. So we about average with our population. We have our fair share. You see what I'm saying? We have our fair share. But they want to make that the face so they can tie into those resources. And we saw that again with earlier this week. But before I get to that, let me go back talking about these slave owners who were members of the LGBTQ community. And the reason why we can't have a coalition. The reason why you cannot pay reparations to foundational black Americans or black Americans and then give money to the LGBTQ community. That's like giving money to the victim of slavery and the slave master. You had racist men like James Hammond, who coined the term Cotton is King. He was a member of the LGBTQ community. He was bisexual. He raped both his male and his female slaves. You see what I'm saying? I talked about last time, Lord Cornbury. He was the governor of the first province of New Jersey and New York. He wrote in policy and expanded the slave trade up north. These are members of the LGBTQ community. Working it a little bit forward, you have members like J. Edgar Hoover, who was one of the first directors of the FBI, who created COINTELPRO, created all these racist movements. You see what I'm saying? You have members like Harvey Weinstein, because see, that's the thing, LGBTQ, they love to act like they're oppressed, but when we look throughout history, we see members of their community were very powerful people. The LGBT community was never oppressed. They were the oppressors. They had more oppressors than oppressed. See, when you talk about oppression in the LGBT community, they just want to talk about name calling. Oh, well, I got called a fag last week. Oh, God. I got called a fag last. It's never anything tangible. See, you're not a member of the oppressed group when you got motherfuckers like Ed Buck walking around we keep finding dead bodies in his house and he's just walking away. You see what I'm saying? Nothing ever happens to him. You're not oppressed when you have members in your community like Harvey Weinstein, who has 50 plus rape allegations and sexual assault charges, yet he hasn't got touched yet. Yet there is no surviving Harvey Weinstein. That's power. They run Hollywood. LGBT runs Hollywood. You see what I'm saying? But they want to talk about oppressed. You see what I'm saying? You're not oppressed when you had serial killers like Charles Manson, who was running around here eating black people. Remember, he was a member, again, of the LGBTQ community. And this is what I try to tell my black brothers and sisters who are in that movement. Because they seem to think that that just means black. No, if you're going to talk about letting them in on resources and tangibles, that means white folks too. And the moment you do that is the moment the floodgates come open for everybody. Everybody's going to be LBGT. Let them get some resources. Let them tie in with our resources. Everybody's going to be LBGT. They're going to start adding letters. LBGTX. LBGTXQZY CX. You see what I'm saying? They're going to start adding things. We cannot allow anybody to sweeten the movement, family. You see what I'm saying? We cannot, they just passed the bill earlier this week. And this is, like I say again, we have to understand the trick bag. Now, you have Billy Porter just the other week. Billy Porter was talking about how basically the black LBGTQ community, and when I say LBGTQ family, I understand the letters are mixed up, but I just say it like that sometimes. I know it's LGBTQ, but I say LB sometimes. So I'm talking about the same thing. You see what I'm saying? He said that basically being black and LBGTQ is like dealing with their own form of white supremacy inside the black community. And see, what people like that fail to realize is this, family. First of all, there is no black supremacy. Members of the homosexual community are not oppressed in the black community. Everything you've gotten from the black community. Every right that they get. Listen to me. Every right that the LGBTQ community gets, the homosexual community, whatever they want to call themselves, they get from black folks. You got at the hands and the backs of black folks. They would have nothing if it wasn't for black folks. But they want to make us the face of homosexuality. You see what I'm saying? The alphabet people. I don't want to disrespect them because then they're going to say I'm disrespectful. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, they get that off the backs of black people. Remember, Obama passed more legislation for the LGBT community than any president. And who elected him? Black folks. We came out in record numbers to elect Barack Obama. But black folks, we the homophobic ones. Remember, they love to make us the face. Oh my God, homophobia in the black community, man. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Yet every time you need some rights, every time you need an act, every time you're being oppressed, you depend on black folks to get it. You see what I'm saying? The Supreme Court just passed a bill Monday that was piggybacking off the Civil Rights Act. Now they're talking about if you're discriminated, you can't be discriminated by gender at work. I'm telling you, family, we're heading to the point where a unarmed black man who was shot by the cops has less rights than somebody in the LGBTQ community. That's what we're heading for right now. That's what we're heading for right now. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I say, we carry all these groups. You dig? We carry all these groups, family. Don't let them try to run that game on you. And we're not going to allow them to sweeten up the movement. We're not putting no coalitions in here. And this is why, like I said, we got to get away from the term Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is becoming a shield for LGBTQ, family. That's what it is. It's becoming a shield for LGBTQ. I'm seeing people tie around these flags. I'm seeing some of the Bussy brothers start twerking at these protests. It's getting crazy out here right now. We cannot allow them to sweeten the movement. We want our coffee straight from now on. We don't even want sugar. We want it straight from now, straight black. And that's not derogatory towards the LGBTQ community. But my brothers and sisters that's in that, you are black. We're including you in it. We're not excluding members of the LGBTQ community. You see what I'm saying? We're black, but you want to keep putting your sexuality on Front Street. You want to keep putting your bussy on Front Street. You want to make it about the bussy instead of about the blackness. And we're not going to allow that. So if you want to call brothers like me, because they love to call brothers like me, they would love to call brothers like 19 Key. They say, oh, y'all are anti-LGBTQ. No, we're not. We anti-BS. You see what I'm saying? We're anti-BS. And we're not going to allow you or members of your community to come in here and steal our tangibles. To come in here and try to steal the reparations that we are demanding. You see what I'm saying? We're not going to allow that. This is not about sexuality. Because at the end of the day, I've never seen a police officer say, are you a member of the LGBTQ community before he shoots you? This ain't about sexuality. You are a Negro to them. First and foremost. You see what I'm saying? First and foremost. You black, exactly. You are black before anything. And that's what we have to get to, family. Don't let them try to put you in this shame game, because they love the LGBTQ community loves this shame game. Oh, anytime you disagree with anything they say, now you're homophobic. Well, damn, call me homophobic. I'm fine with that. That don't worry me. You see what I'm saying? Because I know I speak truth to power. And I know what I stand for at the end of the day. Stop arguing with them. Stop feeding into it. You see what I'm saying? Stand on your principles. We're not coalitions with nobody. With nobody. Because every time we build up a strong movement, here comes some other group talking about they're oppressed too. We're oppressed just like black folks. No, you're not. You were the oppressors. You were the oppressors. We don't have coalition with any of these groups. Have y'all ever heard of LGBTQ slavery? Have you ever heard of laws that says LGBTQ people cannot come into certain establishments, that they were lynched? Show me the LGBTQ lynchings, mass lynchings. Show me where only gay people were out on the plantation picking cotton. Show me where gays were mass incarcerated, no matter the color. Show me where they were mass incarcerated. Show me where they had LGBTQ breeding farms. Can anybody show me that, family? Show me where you were kidnapped from all across the world and enslaved. Can anybody show me that, family? Show me your Holocaust by the millions. And then we might can consider you coming and sitting at the table and saying, okay, we might can coalition. But other than that, you can't show me. Yeah, got a holiday before it. Man, come on, man. This craziness. This craziness. But like I said, we have to understand there's nothing but white folks behind this. It's nothing but white folks. George Soros, and like I said, 2 lesbian women founded Black Lives Matter. So we got to get away from even using that term. We got to get away from even using that term. Because that term is turning into a bussy contest. Because, see, understand this, my brothers in the LGBTQ community, you're not going to get none of them resources. All these resources are going to be handed to white members of the LGBTQ community. They don't give those Negroes. What you're going to get, they're going to give you white men to sleep with. That's your reparations. See, y'all thinking y'all doing some work for your community. They ain't finna give you no resources, bruh. They ain't finna give you no resources, bruh. And that goes for everybody else, not just the LGBT community. We ain't got no friends nowhere. We ain't got no Native American friends. Because Joe Biden said the other week, well, because they keep bringing up the question to Joe Biden about reparations, he's a passive-aggressive white supremacist. He doesn't give a damn about black people. You know, Joe Biden is somebody who puts on the front, just like the Democratic Party in general. That's what they do. They're passive-aggressive white supremacists. Republicans are unapologetic. Republicans, one thing I respect about the Republicans, they're going to let you know. They're going to let you know. Trump said, look at my African-American over there. He's going to let you know he ain't rocking with you, how he see you. You see what I'm saying? The Democrats like to hide. But just like Joe Biden came out the other week and he's talking about, well, if we give black people reparations, we have to give the natives reparations too. No, you don't. No, you don't. That's plain and simple. You ain't got to give no Native Americans reparations. One, because you already gave them reparations. So don't try to pull that game. They love to pull the game like, oh my God, the water is so muddy. I mean, if we give them, we have to give them. No, you don't. One, you don't have to give Native Americans reparations because you already gave it to them. They have land. They have tangible items. They don't pay taxes. They have their own schools and education. They get all types of set-asides and benefits. Let's not play that game. Now, if they mess that up, if they fumble their bag, that's on them. Hold their own nuts. Hold your own nuts. Number 2, Native Americans, especially the Cherokee, were one of the biggest enslavers of African people. They were sometimes, in most cases, the slave catchers. Now we got to split with them? No. We ain't going to play that game. We ain't going to play that game, family. We ain't going to play that game. We ain't going to play that game. You see what I'm saying? They were most times the slave catchers, the Cherokee. One of the biggest revolts in United States history was the 1842 Cherokee Slave Revolt, where you had thousands of enslaved African peoples run away from these Cherokee tribes. You see what I'm saying? They don't tell you that part of history. And a lot of you Negroes talking about you Cherokee, but you ain't the Indian. You was the enslaved. You weren't the Indian. A lot of y'all do have some Cherokee in your family. But it ain't the right type of Cherokee that you want to have. You see what I'm saying? You was enslaved. Cherokees had notorious plantations on their reservations. You see what I'm saying, family? Now, when we get down south and we talk about the Seminoles, now the Seminoles, John Horse, these were more so riders for the black cause. You see what I'm saying? Now, the modern day Seminoles are fake little $5 Indians, which we're going to get on in a minute. Because that's another reason why you can't give reparations to Native Americans in us. Because many of these people aren't even Native Americans. These are $5 Indians who signed that Dawes-Rose Act. Who gave $5 to the commission to put their names on these Native American lists. This is why you see all these pale-skinned natives. This is why you see all these pale-skinned natives. These are the casino owners, by the way. These are the ones who own the casinos. All these are fake $5 Indians. Like Elizabeth Warren is one of them. Elizabeth Warren, who was just running for president, by the way. Remember, they consider Elizabeth Warren. This is why I tell y'all to get away from that people of color crap. Get away from that minority crap. They consider her a person of color. Remember, she was Harvard Law School's first woman of color. If you don't believe me, look it up. She was considered Harvard Law School's first woman of color. Elizabeth Warren is white. She's white. She ain't got a... This is why Trump kept calling her fake Pocahontas or little Pocahontas. He was poking fun at her. Because Trump even knows, white people even know she's a white person. She's a white woman. But see, white people, anytime there's some benefits, anytime there's some accolades, they'll be whatever you want them to be. They'll be whatever you want them to be. Elizabeth Warren was considered Harvard Law's first woman of color. And Elizabeth Warren is a white woman. In fact, Elizabeth Warren did her DNA test. They said she had about 0.2% Native American. According to the DNA test. She had about 0.2 Native American. So I'm more Native American than Elizabeth Warren. You dig? You did, but this is what we deal with, family. This is why I don't fall for the people of color. This is why I don't fall for minorities. This is why I always say we have no friends. We ain't no black-brown coalition either. Let the brown community hold their own nuts as well. Let them hold their own nuts as well, because many of them get over here and classify as white. You see what I'm saying? You had this little, I saw a little, I keep forgetting his name. It was a little Mexican rapper the other day. He's from the Dallas area. And he's talking about how they're asking him, you know, why do you think you can say the word nigga? Why do you use the word nigga in a lot of your songs? And he's trying to explain, well, you know, we Mexicans, we have African ancestry. Oh, now you got African ancestry. See, everybody African, everybody's a person of color, everybody's minority when it's benefits. When it's time to get out of something. Now here you have your brothers and sisters in your homeland. Remember, Mexico just acknowledged their African ancestry in 2015. They ain't been claiming Africa in forever. Now all of a sudden, oh, I'm 1/3 African. I'm 1/25 African. So I can technically say the word nigga. I mean, see, when niggas start pressing you about it, now all of a sudden, well, you know, my mima, my abuela, she technically was from the Ashanti people. Now they got African in them all of a sudden. See, niggas like to play that game when the resources and the tangibles come. You see what I'm saying? Niggas love to play that game when I'm gonna get to some of the questions as well. Yeah, niggas like to play that game when the resources come. Everybody's something that coexists with black folks. Everybody's oppressed when black people are about to get tangibles. Everybody's oppressed when it's time to say the N-word. Well, you know, I live with black people, so you know, nigga to me is a term of endearment as well. You know, one of my best friends, Laquan, he's African. Fuck out of here. You see what I'm saying? You said go build Africa and stop complaining. Family, I cannot build Africa if I have not built my homeland yet. I cannot build Africa if I have not built my homeland yet. And this is one thing we got to get clear. And I talked about this earlier. We are the original people everywhere. And I want y'all to be clear on this before you leave this live. I'm not letting no white supremacists run me anywhere. I'm going to talk that talk as long as I'm here. You see what I'm saying? This is my land. My ancestors built this land. This land would have been a third world country if it wasn't for my ancestors. Let's be clear on that. Let's be clear on that. When Europeans came here, they starved to death. The Jamestown starving times. They got my ancestors to build it up. This is my land. This is my land before the Native Americans, before any Native American came across that Bering Strait 10 to 12,000 years ago. My ancestors were already here. The Folsom people, the Olmec people. We were here building it up. Go look at the murals for yourself. The Bonaparte murals. This is my land. Let's stop playing that game too. Well, go build up Africa. No, I'm not going to go build up Africa. I'm going to let my brothers and sisters in Africa build up Africa. I'm responsible for this land. My ancestors built this land. That's not to say I'm not African. I'm not one of those Negroes who's saying I'm not African. But I'm saying I'm the Aboriginal, I'm the original African of this land. This is my land. I'm not going to let nobody run us off. We the only people, every time we deal with oppression, every time something not going us way, is we got to run. That's our solution. Go to Africa. Go back home. They dealing with oppression in Africa. It's white supremacy in Africa. What are y'all talking about? Do y'all not look at Africa? Our brothers and sisters, I talked to a brother and sister the other day in Africa. They talking about how these white supremacists are controlling the economics. See, just because you don't see white people don't mean they ain't controlling and dominating the land and oppressing the people. It's 2%. White people are 2% of the Congolese population, but yet they're still controlling all the coltan, all the minerals, all the iron that comes out the Congo. You're going to have to deal with white supremacy anywhere you go, family. Anywhere you go. Or forms of white supremacy. Our brothers and sisters in Libya, North Africa, are being enslaved as we speak. There is no safe space to run. Our brothers and sisters in Australia are being oppressed. The Aborigines. They damn near have wiped them out. Brothers and sisters in the UK, Europe, we can't run there. As you can see, our brothers and sisters over there are fighting oppression. And they're talking about all the racism over there. In Asia, over in China, they kicking African people out their apartments, talking about they had coronavirus. They're kicking them out. Where are we going to run to? Where we going? Are we going to run to South America? We're going to run to Mexico where they just started acknowledging African people in 2015? Where we going to run to? It ain't nowhere to run. Stop running and start fighting. Stop singing and start swinging. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to talk that talk because this is our land. We got to be clear on that. We ain't finna allow nobody to run us nowhere. My ancestors built this land. They built every city. They are the reason why it's the economic power it is today. And if you think that after my ancestors built this land, we're going to just leave it to white folks because we can go back to Africa. No. We ain't going to do that, bro. We ain't going to do that. This our land, bro. And all my brothers and sisters in Africa, that's your land as well. Fight for that. My brothers and my black brothers and sisters in Australia, that's your land. You were the first one there. The Aborigine. Fight for that. Brothers and sisters in Europe, don't matter what they tell you. They are not Europeans. White folks are not European. The Grimaldis, African people. You look in Britain, Cheddar Man, black people were the first one there. That's your land. You take that land. You see what I'm saying? You go to Asia. Go in the jungles of Asia. Thailand. India. The Jawa people. Been there 60, 70,000 years. That's your land. Every land is our land. Don't let nobody run you off no land talking about it's their land now. No. We ain't going to do that. Every land is our land. You go down there to South America. The oldest, most complete bones found in South America is Luzia. Luzia. Dating back 12,000 years ago. A jet black African woman. That's our land. We ain't letting nobody run us off nowhere. Nowhere. You see what I'm saying? Nah, we ain't finna do that. There ain't nowhere to run. You can't run from systematic white supremacy, family. We got to get that out of our head. You can't run from it. They control and dominate every damn continent. Where can you run? So at the end of the day, like I said, like Malcolm said, you need to stop singing and start swinging. Buckle up your iron. Buckle up your chin strap. Get ready for war. Get ready for war, family. Get ready for war. That's at the end of the day. We got to get ready for war. You dig? Nah, we ain't worried about that. Like I say. Yeah, man. Like I say, man, we are the original people everywhere. Don't let nobody confuse you. Now, the motherland is Africa. The motherland is Africa. But from Africa, we spread across the globe before anybody. Remember, the white man, according to white scientists, according to white scholars, is 6 to 8 thousand years old. Anything after 6 to 8 thousand years is black. It's black. You see what I'm saying? And really, when we talking about the white man, he doesn't really come into the history books until maybe 300 into Greek. He don't come into the history books until Greek. He ain't contributed nothing since Greek. And he didn't even contribute it. That's just something he could call his own. And remember, even the first Greeks, Greek was a melting pot of civilizations. There were black Greeks. If you go back and look at the black sculptures, they have one in the Brooklyn Museum. They have a white dude, and they have a brother with dreads on the back of the white dude. It was a melting pot. It was very it was culturally diverse. You see what I'm saying? It was black people in Greek too. They just don't show you that in Hollywood. There was Roman kings, black Roman kings. You see what I'm saying? They didn't contribute anything. Remember, the Greeks sat at the foot of Africans to learn and to study. Remember, after their civilizations failed, after Greek fell, after the Roman Empire fell, and they went into the Dark Ages, it was the Moors who brought them out the Dark Ages. Black folks again. They ain't been running and controlling nothing, bruh. We talking about systematic white supremacy that has really been over the last 500 to 600 years. And you talking about a people, African people, who've been here millions of years. They ain't been controlling and dominating nothing. You see what I'm saying? We just got to get back right. We got to get back on code. That's it. Yeah, they learned everything from the teachings of African people. Everything. And we gave it to them willingly. That's another thing. Again, another handout they got from us. We gave it to them willingly. Remember, all their scholars like Pythagoras came into Kemet. Pythagoras, I know everybody knows Pythagorean theorem. You see what I'm saying? Everybody knows Pythagoras theorem. We use that to build the pyramids. He got that from us. All those scripts, Rosetta Stone, all those languages come out of Africa. We are the originators of all that, family. All that architecture. The Roman Colosseum, all that type of stuff. That's found in Africa. Everything you see, all their monuments, even here, the Lincoln Memorial, that ain't nothing but Abu Simbel. The statues of Ramesses II. When you see the Washington Monument, the Washington Monument is nothing but a Tekanut in ancient Kemet. We have thousands of those. The Greeks called it the obelisk. We can go on and on and on. You see what I'm saying? And we have to understand this, family. We have to understand this. Nah, man. The white man didn't give us anything. Let's be clear on that. The white man gave us nothing. He stole everything, though. The white man didn't give us, and even things, inventions that he came up with by himself. It's like running a race by yourself. Remember, African people, we weren't allowed to read. We weren't allowed to write. So he basically said he has no competition. They didn't have no choice but to invent something. You see what I'm saying? If you told the people they couldn't read and write, you didn't give them the option to patent anything. Damn, you're the only one who can invent something. You see what I'm saying? I've heard that about the Statue of Liberty. You dig? Yeah, happy Father's Day. I said that earlier. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. But like I say, man, we got to get clear on that. And we got to be prepared, like I say, in times of war. And speaking of war, because I wanted to talk about this earlier. In war, we have to understand for everything good comes the pain before. For everything good comes the pain before. Now that we are clearly at war with systematic white supremacy, especially with their white supremacist police officers, down here in Atlanta, the police have tried to do certain things, like they've tried to walk out. A lot of police officers have walked out down here in Atlanta. A lot of police officers, they're purposely responding late to calls and things of that nature. Family, don't be shocked by that. Don't be shocked by that. In times of war, your enemy is going to do certain things to make you uncomfortable. Stop crying. We ain't gonna cry and complain about that. You have this your job to make them uncomfortable. So those Atlanta police officers that walked out, we're trying to do everything in our power to find out the names of those officers. Because what those officers are showing us, family, they're showing us they condone the killing of unarmed black men, women, and children. And they should be looked at as enemies. You see what I'm saying? We have to make sure all those police officers who walked out here in Atlanta, because they're trying to, fight back. We have to make sure all those officers who walked out down here in Atlanta, they don't get a job anywhere. Not in Atlanta, not in Georgia, not in the United States. They can never work as a police officer again. We will follow them for the rest of their lives to make sure you're never a police officer. Because what you have shown us is that you condone the killing of unarmed black men, women, and children. Because that's all you're doing. If you're angry that officers who shot our brother Rashad Brooks in the back got arrested and got charged, you must be condoning systematic white supremacy. See, a lot of these officers, they love to act like, and I saw a cop up in Boston. He's crying and, we do a hell of a job. We do a hell of a job defending the community. It's only 2 or 3 bad apples. Stop. See, if you're a apple who is not calling out another bad apple, you're a bad apple too. You dig? You're a bad apple too. We ain't got no friends in the police department. See, all these bad apples, they always try this whole little game, 1%, it's only the 1% of bad police officers. But damn, the 1% seem to be controlling the 99%. Ain't that something, family? Ain't that something? It's always 1% of the police officers who are bad. But the other 99% ain't saying nothing about the bad ones. See, it was that one bad police officer in Minnesota who put that knee on our brother George Floyd's neck. And those other 4 supposed good officers sat there and watched. That makes them bad. And that's symbolic of the police department. The police know who the bad apples are. They know who the bad cops are. Don't let them fool you with that. They know who the bad cops are. But they have the blue code of silence. So they don't say anything. Because that's your police brother. So that makes you a bad cop too. That makes you a bad cop too. You see what I'm saying? See, they know that makes us bad. See, when you have brothers all the time down here in Atlanta, especially, they have these gang junctions. They have those RICO acts. Anybody who is involved with this gang, they'll arrest the whole gang. You might have somebody who wouldn't even do nothing. He's just a part of the gang. They say, no, you were getting arrested too. They put a RICO act on. Oh, you're a part of this criminal empire. But when a cop does something, it's the lone wolf effect. Oh, it's just one bad cop. No, nothing to worry about. Little brother do something. Little brother, they arrest your whole family. You jaywalk across the street. Well, we need to arrest him. And the reason why we arrested his mother, because his mother taught him how to walk. And the reason why we arrested his father helped to give birth to him. And the reason why we arrested his grandmother is because his grandmother gave birth to his mother. And so we had to arrest her too. She was complicit in the crime. But then when it's white cops, it's no. We it's one bad apple. Although we were looking at him do these bad actions, now that don't matter. You see what I'm saying? It was just him. It was just him. Our hands were tied. Fuck out of here. You see what I'm saying? Let's stop playing that game. Yeah. They're a gang. Start calling the police what they are. And I'm not afraid to say it. They're a gang. They're a gang. Remember, and I talked about this in Voice of the Ancestors Volume 2. The origins of policing comes from slave catching, family. That's a fact. The origins of police come from slave catching. They were worried about too many enslaved African people outnumbering white folks in the South. Because remember, most of the physical slaves were in the South. You see what I'm saying? So they were worried about that, so they had slave militias. This is the reason why the Second Amendment says state instead of country. The Second Amendment was truly put in place for the South to keep their slave militia. It really didn't have nothing to do with bear arms. It was so the South can keep their slave militia to patrol. Who was the slave militia? The slave militia was any white person. In fact, it was almost like jury duty in the South during the times of slavery, where any white person had to go out and patrol. If you were chosen for that day, you had to go out there and patrol. This is why you have slave passes. This is why the slaves had to have passes to walk around from plantation to plantation. Random white man will stop you. That's the slave militia. That's the slave patrol. And they say, where's your pass? Where's your paper? And if you didn't have a paper, they'll put you in the back of the paddy wagon. This is still why we call police cars paddy wagons. Some people still call it that. Get in the back of the paddy wagon. That's a slave term. You see what I'm saying? Then when you had all of these overseers, aka officers, when the slaves got released, they had to become officers. We had to have slave patrols again. Because you can't have Negroes, God forbid, Negroes run around free. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm going to get to that. Somebody said, what's the next move? I'm going to get to that. Because for where we go from here, family. Matter of fact, I'm going to talk about it now. Where we go from here, we are at this step. We are at the step of powernomics, and we're at the step of military science. And I talk about powernomics all the time with our great elder, Dr. Claude Anderson. We at the part where we have to bank black. We have to buy black. We have to create an economic foundation. We have to fund ourselves. When we talk about the floors of powernomics, we know that first it starts by banking black. You bank black so you can give loans to black people. Studies have shown that these big banks, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they purposely redline black communities. What happens when you redline a community? You don't allow businesses. What happens if you have no businesses? You have no jobs. What happens if people have no jobs? Y'all know the next step, crime. Crime goes up. And they understand this. White folks understand this. See, they understand I could stop violence in Chicago all overnight. I could put jobs in the black community. We can stop crime in Chicago overnight. They understand that. You just put jobs and resources in the black community. But they don't do that. The only way they'll do that is when they can redline. Notice how crime goes down in certain areas when white people are owning it all of a sudden. It was just the hood 20 years ago, but now white people own it and control it, and now it ain't no crime. See, when they get the resources and they get a chance to take it over, then all of a sudden the crime goes down when they're pushing all the black people out. You see what I'm saying? So we have to bank black so those black banks can give to black businesses. They can give out the small business loans. Then those black businesses, they hire black people. They hire black people and they supply jobs. And this is going to create a chain effect too, because a lot of us are enslaved at our jobs. We have a lot of coons who are created on the corporate plantation. A lot of people are afraid to speak truth to power because you work for white zaddy. You work for white mommy. And oh God, man, I can't tweet that Azar said in Haru. My white boss might see it. I can't tweet Black Lives Matter. Even though Black Lives Matter is a really a LBGTQ movement. I can't tweet that because my boss might get mad because he's part of all lives matter. So we have a lot of coons who get created on these corporate plantations. So we need to work for black people. Then it is also your black business's job. Your black businesses go up and they control the courts. They control the local courts and politicians in your area. Politicians are controlled through funds. They're controlled through money. This is why all these big politicians, they have all these campaigns. They're raising money. They're raising hundreds of millions of dollars. Obama raised $1 billion during his 2008 election campaign. He raised $1 billion. That's what gets you elected. Remember, presidents are not elected, they're selected. They're not elected, they're selected. It's about the bag at the end of the day. How can you make these millionaires rich? So what these businesses do, what these corporations do, is they go in and they own the politician. They buy the politician. They buy the local court. They tell that local judge, listen, judge, if we don't get an indictment, I don't know if we're going to be able to put money in your campaign next term. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that next term if we don't see this policy pass. See, you got to treat these politicians, these judges, like the gangsters they are. Like the hoes they are. You got to pay them off. That's what you got to do. It ain't about no electing them. They don't care about that. They care about the bad. They care about stuff in their pockets. That's how you got to treat that. Then your local politicians, once you own and control these politicians control the police. They control the courts. Because now your politicians are the ones who write the laws. So when they write the laws, they go in there and say, okay, any police officer found of killing an unarmed black man, that's an automatic hate crime. Now all of a sudden police didn't stop killing unarmed black men. See, police do what they do is because they understand the politicians are behind them. Because police have unions. These unions fund the politicians. You see what I'm saying? This is why the unions are so powerful. Ain't nobody afraid of no police, really. But these unions have the bag. So they pay off the judges. This is why we see judges like Tammy the Mammy. Y'all remember Tammy the Mammy down there in Dallas last year? She was the one hugging Amber Geiger. Come to find out, the police, she was sponsored by the police union down there. You see what I'm saying? She was sponsored by the police union down there. So that's why she's hugging the cops. That's why Amber Geiger's in the courtroom after she just walked into her brother's apartment and killed our brother Botham Jean while he was eating ice cream. You got a bailiff in there combing her hair. I'm on some straight slave plantation stuff. If you don't believe me, look it up if you don't remember. Combing her hair. Tammy the Mammy is reading her a Bible verse. Oh, John 16. Now it say forgive. You in there just straight mammy mode. This is why she only got 10 years, family, for murder. And really 5 years because she's going to be out on parole. Because the unions own the judges. The unions own these local politicians. We have to do the same thing in the black community. You see what I'm saying? And last but not least, or I should say second to last, after that you use the leftover funds to control the media. You use the leftover funds to control the media. Now the media is important. Why is the media important? The media is going to get the message to the masses of our people. The media is going to get the message to the masses of our people. The media is going to tell us what code to get on. Notice how the media is coronavirus, 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 coronavirus. Everybody's around here. Everybody's wearing masks. People got masks on their babies. You see what I'm saying? Everybody's afraid to do anything. They shut down a whole country based off coronavirus, just in the media. We need to own our own media because that gets us on code. We need a black political channel that's dedicated to us. I didn't say black and brown. I didn't say a minority channel. I didn't say a people of color channel. Black. That's it. That's it. That's dedicated to our agenda. That's dedicated to our agenda so we can get our code across. So we can say, black folks, no reparations, no vote. That's what we moving with. We have somebody who's telling us our political agenda from our standpoint. Unapologetically black. And last but not least, your dollars work their way up to education. We have to start educating the babies young. So you have babies right now in elementary school talking how I'm talking. They know about powernomics. They know to bank black. Because when they bank black, the banks are going to give loans to small businesses. That way, when you have black-owned businesses, those black owners, they can employ the community. Then those black owners can control the courts and the judges to make sure they secure the community. Then they control the politicians. The politicians that I control now, because I own them, they're going to control the police. That's my military. You see what I'm saying? Then after that, we're going to use the leftover money to control the media. Then once we control the media, we're going to put it full circle and employ it right back into the school. Your baby should know powernomic concepts at a young age. They should know that at a young age. You dig? Hold on one second, family. Yeah. They should know that at a young age. And then last but not least, family, after we go from powernomics, because we have to understand this, because a brother asked about solutions. After we talk about powernomics, we have to talk about military. Who's the military? Now, who's the military in our community? We have soldiers in our community. We have soldiers in our community. The first thing we have to understand is that everybody's a soldier. Everybody's a revolutionary. Everybody's a revolutionary. Everybody's a soldier. We have to get out the mentality of us putting one person up to do all the dirty work. I see a lot of brothers all the time. Man, y'all letting George Zimmerman walk around? Man, where the gangsters at? Where the thugs at? You the gangster. You the thug. George Zimmerman should be afraid to walk around any black person, whether he got on glasses and he look like a nerd or whether his pants are sagging. You the military. Stop saying that, family. We have to get out that mentality. This is the reason why many of our movements get halted. Because see, we put a brother like Malcolm on Front Street. Malcolm, do all the dirty work. Malcolm, do this. And then when Malcolm get assassinated, ain't everybody, oh shit, they killing niggas out here. Oh, I ain't finna say nothing no more. You say it. No, you say it. It's that mentality. Everybody's a soldier. Everybody's a revolutionary, family. George Zimmerman should be afraid to walk around any black person. It should be, oh, where the gangsters at? Where the thugs at? You see what I'm saying? Now, from a strategic aspect, yes, our brothers and sisters in the gangs should be our military. They should be our soldiers. But when it comes to shove, we need everybody front line. We need everybody front line. And this is the reason why. I just talked about powernomics. I just talked about banking black, buying black, having black businesses. Hold on 1 second, family. I just talked about banking black, buying black, and having black businesses. But we have to understand, in the past, we've had those things. We've had those things. We've had Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. You see what I'm saying? We've had places like Durham, North Carolina, which had their own Black Wall Street. Down here in Atlanta, we had Auburn Avenue. We had Edenville, Florida. We had Rosewood, Florida. We had places all the way in Kansas, Nicodemus, Kansas, that had their own Black Wall Street. Y'all see where I'm going with this? We had places in New Mexico, Blackdom, New Mexico, Jackson Ward. We had places around the country that were our Black Wall Street. We had the Browning community in Mississippi. But what happened to these communities? These communities were burned down. They were economically sabotaged. This is why you need a military. This is why you need a military. Because we have to understand, these white supremacists, they only understand two things. The loss of finance, which you threaten with powernomics, and the loss of life, which a military can come in and give you. Those are the only two things they understand. Nobody will defend our community for us, family. Nobody. Nobody will defend our community for us. When those Koreans down in the LA riots, the 92 LA riots, when they saw that the police were not coming, down in those LA riots, and people were tearing up stuff. I'm not even going to say brothers, because we know a lot of Mexicans were in there tearing up stuff as well. You see what I'm saying? When they said the police are not coming, they got on the roof. They got strategic. They said, take this AK, get up on the roof, and they defended it themselves. They made sure their businesses weren't going to be burned down. You see what I'm saying? This is what I mean by I say everybody's the military. This is what I mean when I say military science. Everybody has to play a key part, family. Everybody has to play a key part. So that's the keys. A brother asked about solutions. The solutions are powernomics and military science. And if we want to get political, family, we have to get on code. We have to get on code at the end of the day. Now hold on 1 second, family. The video is about to end. I'm gonna end the video. I got like 26 seconds left. I'm gonna end the video, but I'm gonna come right back. So y'all be ready. I'm gonna end it and come right back. Hold on. Okay, we back, family. We back. Yeah, put your questions back down below. I'm about to answer some questions now. Put your questions back down below, family, for me. I'm gonna answer some questions now. Shout out to the Queen Precious. Shout out to Kick. Shout out to all the family. Always, man. I'm always gonna be here, man. I'm gonna stay solid. One thing about me, bro, I'm gonna stay solid. You dig? I tell niggas all the time, man. I was telling people the other day, man. They were asking me, do black people support my books? Man, hell yeah. And one thing about me, nigga, I love playing in the Negro Leagues. I tell people that all the time. I'm not looking to integrate. I'm not looking to get some white fans. I'm looking to be a man of my people, bro. I'm gonna stay solid from day one. You dig? You dig? Hold on 1 second. I think I saw. Exactly. You know, somebody said we talked about gangsters being the military, but we don't defend them when they go to prison. One thing we have to start doing is communicating with our soldiers in the streets. Our soldiers in the streets is brothers and sisters who might be involved with criminal activities and gangsters. You see what I'm saying? Every community, despite what they want to say, they have some forms of communication with their criminal element of their community. You see what I'm saying? Chinatown. They understand and they talk to the brothers and sisters in Wakuzma and these little Chinese gangs that's kung fuing and karate kicking niggas. They understand that. You see what I'm saying? The Italian community, they have the mafia. Yo, don't think the mafia is dead. They have their criminal elements that get things done when they needed to get done. We have to do the same thing. See, we want to run away. We want to shy away from Bloods and Crips. No, you got to embrace those brothers and sisters and start by feeding them some knowledge of self. Feeding them some knowledge of self and let them know that, what you're doing, first of all, isn't new. We have to understand gangs aren't new. Forms of gangs aren't new. We were set tripping in Africa. We had tribes beefing in Africa, and I talked about that all the time. That's one of the big reasons why Europeans were able to come in and to enslave our people. Is because we were doing a lot of set tripping in Africa. We were looking at niggas, man, that nigga Fulani, I'm not messing with him, bro. He's a rival set, aka. He's a rival tribe, he's a rival set, so I'm not messing with him like that. And that gets us into trouble. This is what our brother Nipsey Hussle was trying to teach young brothers and sisters in the streets. We got to get back on code, but that starts by educating them. Understanding their point of view. Understanding, letting them know how they can be used in their community. You see what I'm saying? And looking out for them. Like a brother say, looking out for them when it's wartime. If somebody does put in work for the community, we should have that brother out on bail ASAP. It was a brother last year, I can't remember exactly where, but it was a Chinese store owner who was beating up black women. And that brother went in there and damn near burnt the Chinese shop down. They got him out on bail ASAP. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. When your soldiers put in work, you need to look out for the soldiers. You see what I'm saying? You need to look out for the soldiers when they put in work. So yeah, it's about communication at the end of the day. A lot of brothers just seek knowledge of self. You said we are already infiltrated in and out. We need to clean house, but it will take hard work and honesty. Absolutely. Absolutely. We got to understand, speaking of infiltration, we have to understand that everybody is not going to make it. Everybody's not going to make it. Stop trying to save everybody, family. We have to stop doing that. We have to stop doing that. I had a conversation with a queen the other day. She was like, man, I rock with you, but I don't like when you call out members of our community. I feel like we need to be on code and unified. When I call out members of our community, family, they're coons. Coons are not, you can't unify with a coon. You got to be clear on that. You can't unify with coons. Coons are dangerous. Coons are anti-black. Stop looking at their skin. Listen to what they say. They're anti-black. So we have to understand we can't save everybody. They're casualties of war already. We've been in a 400-year war. You're going to have casualties. Not all the time. That doesn't mean that they're dead. Physically, they're dead spiritually. And you have to charge them to the game. You got to keep moving, family. You got to keep moving. You dig? Peace, God. Peace to the family. Oh yeah. Probably so. I had a white guy. He said, white people buy your books. Yeah, I had a white guy who bought my book, and he sent it to me. He was like, man, I love your book, man. I used to be a racist. That's what they love to say. They love to say that like that's gonna give them some code. I used to be a racist, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. But I've been waking up. I've been listening to Farrakhan, dude. And man, I really rock with you, man. Is there any way we can beat up? Hell no. I get my ass knocked off trying to meet up with these white supremacists. Trying to play games. Is there any way we can meet up, dude? I know a good alley. I know a good store that we can meet up at, man. No. We not gonna do that. We ain't falling for that no more. We not falling for that no more. Yeah, man. We rocking solid. We stand solid. Yeah, let me get to some more questions real quick. Yeah, Russian mob. Everybody, like I say, man, everybody knows their criminal element. Everybody associates with their criminal element. You see what I'm saying? They embrace it. When there's work to be done, they know how to get the soldiers in the street to do the work. But like a brother said, they look out for them. They look out for those brothers and sisters. We have to do the same. Start communicating with those brothers and sisters when you see them. Stop attacking them all the damn time. Man, brother, pull your damn pants up, man. That's why white people don't respect us. I mean, when I was young, I had a brother say that, an elder say that. Man, y'all need to pull your pants up now. That's why white folk don't respect us, nigga. It was people, but our ancestors got lynched from trees with suits on. It ain't because our pants they don't respect us. Let's be clear on that. Go back and look at those old lynchings. Brothers were fresh from head to toe. Brothers were in tuxedos getting lynched. It ain't about no clothes. We gotta stop that. Gotta stop trying to make white folk comfortable. Oh, man, why white people look at this? They look at you this way because they're anti-black. It don't matter what you do. You can have on a tuxedo. You see what I'm saying? You can be light-skinned. You can be dark-skinned. You can have you a white woman. You see what I'm saying? You cannot have you a Voice of the Ancestors page. You cannot speak about racism. They're anti-black. They just don't like you, bro. And it's accept it. It ain't no big deal. Just accept it. Keep it pushing. Keep the same energy with them as they keep with you. You dig? What's the point of this live? The point of this live is education, brother. Education and conversation. Yep. Education and conversation. Much respect, God. I'm just giving my take on things. I'm a student of the game. Everything that I'm talking about, family, an elder said before me. And that's what I made sure I mentioned in the book. In my books, Voice of the Ancestors, Volume 1 and 2, I'm not spitting any new facts. I don't want people to look at me like, man, Chase spitting stuff I ain't never heard before. An elder taught me. This knowledge and information has been around for so long, and I'm still learning. This is why in both of my books I have over 150 sources of information. Some of that information goes back hundreds of years that an elder was trying to teach us about. Elders like George G.M. James, who wrote the book Stolen Legacy, an absolute classic book. He was assassinated after he released that book. The Masons got to him. He was assassinated. He released some of those Masonic secrets that they were talking about. You see what I'm saying? Elders like Dr. Ben. Elders like Dr. John Henry Clark. I'm just a student of the game. And I understand in my position, I understand in the new era, we have social media now. I might be able to reach younger people or reach certain people who maybe never had access to that information. That's my whole thing. I'm just a student. You know what I'm saying? A student doing my part. That's it at the end of the day. But yeah, make sure you go check out the book though too. Yeah, you know, I keep telling y'all, and I try not to speak about Candace Owens. Candace Owens is a coon, but we have to stop giving these coons energy. Don't even mention Candace Owens' name. Stop giving the coons energy. Coons are like white supremacists. They suck the life out of you. You see what I'm saying? So we're not even going to give her attention. I look at Candace, every time Candace Owens says something, I see a white woman saying something. And I don't give a damn. I don't care about their opinion. You see what I'm saying? That's not a member of our community anymore. That's just a person who has black skin. I almost want to consider Candace Owens, she's blackface at this point. When you see Candace Owens talk, just picture a white woman in blackface. That's how you got to look at it. Don't even give her the energy. Don't even give her the energy. You dig? You said, am I just preaching like Al Sharpton? No, brother. I'm not an agent like Al Sharpton. I'm just doing my part. I'm a student of the game. That's it. I'm a student of the game, and I'm going to stay solid. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I'm going to stay solid. I'm speaking truth to power. I could, I'm somebody, who I could have went the corporate route. I could have wigged out. I could have in college, in college I was teaching white folks. I went to a PWI, by the way. I had a lot of white people around me. I could have been a stock market guru. I was teaching a lot of classmates and football players about stocks. A lot of professors at Jacksonville State University about stocks. I was speaking at universities about stocks and knowledge and information. You know what I'm saying? When I was in college, I could have went the corporate route. I could have just said, hey, man, I'm not going to say nothing. You can look it up, Chase. I spoke at Mississippi State University, black alumni. I could have went and say, hey, man, I'm going to work on Wall Street. I'm going to stay solid. I'm going to just, do X, Y, and Z. I'm not going to talk about race. I'm not going to speak about anything. But nah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just me. I'm not trying to be, no, I'm just me. I'm Chase. That's it. I'm not no leader of the black community. I'm just Chase. We all the leaders. We all the revolutionaries. Everybody, if you come on my live and you think, well, he must be an agent. He can't be speaking like this, man. You get knocked off of speaking like this. That's your problem. That's your problem. We should all be speaking like I'm speaking right now. If I was to click on everybody's live, y'all should be speaking like I'm speaking. This should be regular talk. This should be like a nigga come on here talking about sports. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how it is. That's just how it is. You said, what's the first step to creating our own what's the first step to create our communities working together? We should provide the leadership. What do you mean by that? I think the first step, like I mentioned before, is powernomics. We have to get back to banking black, just doing the simple things. Banking black, buying black, and as well as a business owner, we have to get out of things like, for example, when we talk about owning businesses, everybody wants to own a clothing business. Everybody wants to do something in the form of entertainment, and I respect that. I'm not knocking that at all. But let's do some simple things. You know, one of the billionaires in Africa is he does concrete. He lays down concrete. We need some brothers who start a concrete business. We need brothers and sisters in construction. You see what I'm saying? We need brothers and sisters who own their own medical office, their own nursing office. We need lawyers. You see what I'm saying? We need nurses with their own clinics. Let's get out of some of the traditional things. Now, I always say that you use that money. Maybe you use your clothing money to get it something bigger. But let's get into the simple things. White people own the simple things. They get into simple shit. You know what I'm saying? They lay down the concrete on the road. They're responsible for fucking controlling the mail. They make all type of positions. White folks make all type of positions. They own a pool cleaning business. You know what I'm saying? They're the roofers. Let's get into the simple things, family. Let's get into some of the simple things. Yeah, man, it's a lot of self-hate. It's a lot of self-hate. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, bro, that doesn't matter. Like I say, man, when you're talking to brothers and sisters in the street, stop judging. That's just a big thing. Stop judging. And know who you talking to, man. Talk to them. Sometimes you have to adjust to their lingo. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to adjust to their lingo. If I'm talking to a brothers and sisters who are maybe corporate, I might talk a little different. I'm going to still keep the same mentality, but I might talk a little different. I might not use as much slang or things of that nature. So sometimes you have to adjust. You have to adjust and talk to brothers and sisters how they understand. When you talking to street brothers and sisters, I'm trying to get a brother in the streets to write a book. I might have to talk to him in drug lingo. It's damn near. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how you got to do it sometimes. That's just how you got to do it. So learn how to communicate. A big part of communicating is not just communicating one way. You know? You said, why is death of a black man always the catalyst for a protest, yet issues affecting black women are ignored? It's unfortunate, Queen. That's probably done strategically by the well. That's probably done strategically as well. But, you know, part of that is always they're going to play divide and conquer. They're going to always play divide and conquer. Similar to the Black Lives Matter movement. If you go look at the Black Lives Matter mission statement, they don't say anything about black men. They talk about women and LGBTQ. That's it. They don't say anything about black men. Same thing with that. So part of that is divide and conquer. And we got to do a better job in the black community of treating our sisters right. You see what I'm saying? Got to do a better job of that. And like I say, with any community, the moment you touch their women, that's when they go to war. The moment you touch their women, that's when they go to war. Remember, Emmett Till got killed for whistling at a white woman. No community plays about their women. We got to get back to the same thing. So, but to answer your question, that's probably done strategically. That's just divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. What books have you gotten your information from? I got my information. I mean, that's a lot of books, brother. Like I say, I got over 150 sources in the first book alone. Another 180 sources in the second book. Just to name a few, Dr. Ben, The African Origins of Western Civilization. A great book to start off reading is The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. Once you get a little bit more advanced, you can read Stolen Legacy by George G.M. James. You can read The Browder Files by Anthony Browder, great elder in our community. What's another book? I like to read books that are not just conscious as well. You can read The Art of War by Sun Tzu. That's a great book that's going to show you militarily how to move. And I like to look at that book because that book teaches me about systematic white supremacy. That book tells me that the first rule of war is deception. So I have to look at things from a deception standpoint. So although I see people smiling in my face, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that they're my friend, because the first rule of war is deception. So Sun Tzu, read the 48 Laws of Power. That's another classic. Also read financial books. Robert G. Allen, Multiple Streams of Income. Like I say, the days, family, of being woke but broke are over. Those two things don't go together. Your ancestors were never broke. They were never broke. They were very conscious. They were geniuses. They were very wise, but they were never broke. They got to the bag. Don't believe the hype talking about, the slaves, the Jewish slaves built the pyramids. Ain't no damn slaves built the pyramids. All those pyramid workers were well paid. That's been documented. They were well paid. We had an economy. You see what I'm saying? We knew how to get to the bag. Stop judging, brothers. I be seeing people on here, man, he ain't conscious. He got a Rolls Royce. That should be exciting to you. The fact that a black man is speaking truth to power and he can still have the finer things in life. You know what I'm saying? So read financial books. Like I say, Robert G. Allen. Read some of our economists like Dr. Claude Anderson. Black Labor, White Wealth. Powernomics, the book that I talked about earlier. Who else? Who else do I read? Dr. Sabi. Read a lot of herbal books. Random Walk Down Wall Street. Like I say, just a multitude to read. My reading really consists of knowledge of self. So I'm going to get the knowledge about my history and the ancestors that came before me. I'm also going to go into economics, financially, things of that nature. I'm always trying to be astute financially because I understand as a black man, speaking how I speak, I'm going to be the number one target. You see what I'm saying? If I can't make money myself, ain't nobody going to give me money because of how I'm speaking. I'm seen as the number one threat in America. Despite what they say, it ain't Al-Qaeda, it ain't none of these terrorists. The number one thing white America fears is the black man speaking truth to power, is the black militant. They fear me the most, and that's by no surprise. You see what I'm saying? So I have to be able to hold myself up on my own financially without working for somebody. And last but not least, my books are going to consist of military, how to read. How to go through military strategies, the strategies of war, 33 strategies of war, things of that nature. See what I'm saying? I balance my books around those three topics mainly. But I'm starting to throw in some health as well. You know, I have a book that I like to keep around. I don't have it with me right now. But it's called Fighting Foods with Diseases. Fighting Diseases with Food. I said Fighting Foods with Diseases. You know what I'm saying? But just things of that nature. Absolutely, yeah. You gotta bank black. Banking black is free. Family. Every black bank is guaranteed by the FDIC. It's something we learned in school. Economics. I'm an economics major, by the way. I have a degree. So when I speak to you about that, and I'm not saying I have a degree like I'm better than y'all, but I'm telling y'all I've been down that path before. I have a bachelor's degree, Jacksonville State University, in economics, business economics. One of the first things they teach you is all these banks are guaranteed by the FDIC, $250,000. You don't get no more protection, no more interest from a white bank than you do a black bank. It's just a matter of preference. It's just a matter of preference, family. At the end of the day, it's just a matter of preference. The only thing that you might not have with a black bank is availability. That's the only thing. So if you're traveling, if you're a person who likes to travel and say you live in Atlanta and you're going to California, you might not have a bank out there, a black bank out there that you can go and get your money without an ATM fee. You see what I'm saying? But if you get One United, I'm thinking One United is an international bank. That's an online bank. They're a black-owned bank. So like I say, that's the easiest thing you can do, family. That's without spending any money, just moving your money. Stolen Legacy is by George G.M. James. Stolen Legacy is by George G.M. James. Okay, we got a troll in here. Okay, somebody's talking about their trolling. Okay. Got a troll in here. Let me go down to some more questions though. Shout out to the family. Yeah, make sure you get Voice of the Ancestors Volume 1 and 2, link in the bio. Shout out to all the family. And if you already have those books, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm going to put these lives on YouTube after I get off of here. So they'll probably be up tomorrow at the latest Tuesday. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Voice of the Ancestors Chase. That's all my previous lives and everything like that. You got black businesses out here. We need a black book with all the black businesses in it. You dig? Yeah. We gotta get them more on Front Street. That's why I like what we did on Juneteenth yesterday. We had a lot of black businesses out there, herbs and things of that nature. So that was great in Atlanta, and I forgot to post it on my page. That's the only thing I hate I didn't do for my Atlanta family, because we were out there heavy. We were definitely out there heavy, on Exchange by Columbia. Yeah, shout out to the family. Shout out to the family. I just gotta speak truth to power. I just gotta speak truth to power, man. I just gotta speak truth to power. Does anyone know the name? The black-owned cell phone company? Yeah, that's like Figure Wireless, I believe. Figure Wireless. And it brings me to another point, too. I want to talk about, and this just randomly popped in my head. I've been seeing a lot of these white folks, family, at these protests. And I should say white people, white women. I've been seeing a lot of white women at these protests holding up signs talking about, I only have sex with black men. I only do X, Y, and Z with black men. I only bust it open for white men. For black men. And this is why Black Lives Matter. And I've been seeing a lot of Negroes, a lot of coon Negroes reposting this nonsense. Reposting these backhanded compliments. Things that are not good for you. You see what I'm saying? Talking about they only do X, Y, and Z sexually. Brothers, that is not an achievement. Brothers, that is not something to celebrate. What they're telling you is they see you as a bed buck. That's what they're telling you. White women out here talking about, having signs. I only take black penis. I only do this. I only do that. That's disrespectful. What they're doing is they're minimizing the black man into a sexual object. That's something they did during slavery. And see, a lot of brothers are reposting this, talking about we sticking it to the white man. See, the white man ain't doing that. White man ain't got nothing on that. Stop. White man looks at that and he laughs, because he's saying that's all I ever thought those Negroes were good for. Physically, sexually things. That's the same way they look at black women. That's not an achievement. If somebody's out here at these protests talking about they only do X, Y, and Z because of your body, that is disrespectful. That is disrespectful. That's an assault as a black man intellectually. They're telling you the only thing they think you can do is you're good for sexual pleasures. So stop reposting that. You need to be getting on these white supremacist females for having signs like that. That's not the time or the place for that. Do you see what I'm saying? And they're showing what they truly feel, how they truly feel about you. Because all these women who out here, all these white women, let me tell the brothers something. All these white women out here who run up on black men, especially the ones in college and things of that nature. They love the black guys in college. They love sleeping with black men in college. They grow up and become Karens. You dig? All these white women who love to sex on black men in college, the football players and stuff. A lot of them tried to come for me, but I already knew what was up. They become Karens later on in life. They're the main ones calling the cops on niggas. Talking about, oh my God, I'm in fear of a nigger. All of them got bodies on their resume. You see what I'm saying? All of them got bodies, black bodies on their resume, and then they turn around when they get older, those looks, because y'all know white women looks go away fast. White women be one that when they hit 30, white women look like they 50. Y'all know that. Y'all know I ain't lying. That melanin, see, that's where that melanin come in. Melanin come in about 30. That's where we see the difference. White women be 30 looking like they 50. So when that happens and those looks go away, they start getting jealous. This is why white women don't like sisters in the office, in the workplace. This is why you had a sister out there in Dallas, a weather girl out there in Dallas, and she's a very thick and beautiful, curvy sister. And you had white women calling up to the station, God, Shaniqua, I mean, her dress is just so tight. They're always hating. They hate when they get older. You see what I'm saying? Those same white women talking about Black Lives Matter because, ooh, I sleep with black men. They the biggest haters when they get older. You see what I'm saying? They hate sisters in the workplace. They hate everything about sisters, especially when the white men like her. You see what I'm saying? When the white guys like her and they start checking for sisters and they ain't really checking for the white women, that's when she starts to get calls to human resource. That's when they start calling to human resources. Hey, Shaniqua, we've been getting a lot of complaints about your dress. And Shaniqua like, what's wrong with my dress? It's a normal limp dress. It's past my knees. What's wrong with the dress? Well, it's some of the women in the office feel like it's inappropriate. My body's inappropriate. This is my body. I can't, Well, we're going to have to relieve you. We're going to have to let you go because, we have a lot of kids that come through. Say they like to play that game. Them little flat ass Karens. The same ones that talking about they only take black meat. Like they ain't no allies, family. They ain't no allies. Those be the biggest white supremacists when they get older. Be 30 looking like meth heads that are 50. You dig? Yeah, so be careful about that, brothers. And like I said, that's a message to all my young brothers. I've been seeing that a lot. I've been seeing a lot of young black rappers repost that, thinking that's because somehow we think, and a lot of brothers have this mentality, we think that getting the white man's woman, we think we doing something. And we ain't doing nothing. We ain't doing nothing. That's a win for them. That ain't a win for you. Because you got a Karen. Because now they control you. Now all you're doing is transferring your resources to their community. You dig? That's a win for them. Be careful about these Karens out here, man. Be careful about these Karens out here. Karens with attitude, KW. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. I've been seeing a lot of that lately. We got to get that correct. Man, I meant to talk about that the other week. You know what I'm saying? That's not an achievement. Them seeing you as a bed bug. That's how they saw us during slavery. They would call in the black man to perform sexual activities on them. You know what I'm saying? To satisfy their sexual needs during slavery. And they doing the same thing now. And Negroes out here talking about, man, she a rider. That Snow Bunny. They love Snow Bunny. Big coon ass Negroes. She looking at you like you a bed buck. Stop doing that. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. Stay away from the white women. Stay away from them. Don't no good come out of that. Don't no good come out of that either way. You see what I'm saying? Even if she not gonna rat on you and do all this stuff, you end up transferring wealth to her community. They already got enough wealth. Get you a sister and stay solid. You dig? Get you a sister and stay solid. And the sister's winning in every category. I don't understand what y'all be seeing in the white women. No, I've never had no white woman. Never had no white woman, dog. I grew up in Atlanta. I grew up in the land of milk and honey. You dig? I grew up in the land of milk and honey. So when I went to a PWI, when I left the land of milk and honey and went to the land of just milk, oh, shit. No. It wasn't the move. I was coming back to Atlanta every week. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I stopped playing football. Nah, I ain't never had no white woman. Never wanted no white woman. At that. Never wanted no white woman. Yeah, exactly. I keep telling y'all. And that same thing go with these Hispanic women. These white Hispanic women. Most of these Hispanic and Latino women identify as white. See, you don't need somebody who identifies as white. Ain't no black-brown coalition. Get you a sister and say solid. The black woman is God. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, man. Y'all better watch these white women. Watch these Latinos, Chinese. Watch all of them. Because notice, the only time they come around is when niggas got some resources. When they got the tangibles. All of a sudden, you start catching touchdown passes, and now all the white women think you're cute. And you got coon Negroes. I was around some of those coons at school. They, man, goddamn, man. Man, I'm going to settle down with Karen. All right. So, some brothers got to learn the hard way. And I told y'all about that. Everybody ain't going to make it. Some brothers got to learn the hard way. It's okay. It's okay. Malcolm used to smash on white women. It's okay as long as you wake up. As long as you wake up. I ain't mad at a brother for who used to smash on a white woman. As long as you wake up. Because in this system like this, we live under a system that breeds niggas. Again, America breeds niggas. They purposely miseducate and breed a nigga. That's what they want. But once the nigga becomes a god, now this is when you get out of the whole the white woman is better phase. Because you really see the white woman ain't did nothing. And the white woman is one of your biggest enemies, in fact. Throughout history, she's been. The white woman has been by the white man's side the whole time. That's something we always forget. We always talk about the white man. The white woman was by his side. Remember, the white woman is what got our brother Emmett Till killed. The white woman is what kicked off the civil rights movement. Actions of the white woman, who said Emmett Till whistled at her when he never did. That's been proven to be a lie. Carolyn Bryant. And I believe Carolyn Bryant's fast is still up there in Indiana somewhere. Carolyn Bryant is still alive. Her flat ass is still up there. Mush mouth, just dusty white woman. Still up there in Indiana. Living safe and sound. You dig? I believe she's in Indiana. I believe she's still alive. She's like 90 something. And notice how, see, when the white woman do something, they don't drag her out. Now, she lied under oath. They'll drag Bill Cosby out, who is damn near legally blind, old and crippled. They'll drag him and make him spend the rest of his life in jail. But the white woman, Carolyn Bryant, she's chilling around here somewhere being protected by white supremacists. You dig? They haven't noticed, they haven't drug her out. Now, behind you have to understand the actions of that white woman. By her saying Emmett Till whistled at her, she not only killed Emmett Till the child, but she is responsible for all the deaths that came behind her. Because remember, that's what kicked off the civil rights movement. She is responsible for all those deaths that came behind that. The bombing of the four little girls at that church in Alabama. All the men, women, and children that came behind, she is responsible for that. The white woman is just as big as a white supremacist as the white man. Never forget that. Never forget that. I'm rocking with my sisters all day. It ain't no competition, really. It ain't no competition. Even if we want to talk about looks, like I said, now you got black women who are 60 who look better than some white women at 30. You dig? That melanin staying strong. And we know about the loyalty of the black woman. We know the loyalty is always going to be there. She been riding since day one. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, it's no competition. It's no competition. And that's why I look at, this is why I always say, brothers who are interracial, who have a marriage, an interracial relationship or marriage, I always look at them funny. I'm not gonna lie. I look at them funny. They still my brother. I still love them, but I can't trust them. If you chose the white woman, if you chose Becky over a sister, I look at you funny, bro. I really do. Because you're showing me where your values and your priorities lie. You're showing me where your values and your priorities lie. So now I'm looking at you like, you chose Becky? But Becky don't even look like nothing. And that's the thing. That's another thing, brothers. Y'all be picking white women who don't even look like nothing. Y'all be picking white women who don't even look like nothing. And then the ones who pick white women who look like something, everything you like about them is things that she looks like a black woman for. You love all the black features about her. Man, she thick. It's a million thick black women. Damn, nigga, you act like you ain't never had no thick girl before. Like, we ain't got thick women in our community. You know what I'm saying? They love the white woman with the big lips, but the sister got big lips. You joning on her. You roasting her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's why we got to get right. That's why I can't trust a brother who, in the land of milk and honey, especially in Atlanta. Especially in Atlanta with all these dimes we got out here in Atlanta. We were at the cookout the other day for Juneteenth. And it was jello everywhere you look. It was jello everywhere you look. Dimes everywhere you look. Conscious sisters everywhere you look. You know what I'm saying? I'm like a kid at the candy store out there. If you can say you can't find a black woman, you don't deserve no woman. You dig? If you can say, you know what I'm saying, you can't find a black woman, you don't deserve no woman. Said Dave Chappelle's wife is Asian. Is she? I haven't seen Dave Chappelle. Is she Asian, like she's Asian, or she's black Asian? I can't trust Dave Chappelle then, even though Dave Chappelle be saying some good stuff. I can't trust brothers who their highest level, because to me, your wife or your husband, that's showing me what you value and you prioritize the most. That's showing me what you value and you prioritize the most. That is the greatest symbol of what you represent, your wife or your husband. That's who you chose to recreate and bring another human being into this earth with. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm looking at it from my point of view. I need to see that you have loyalty to your own community, to your own people. You did? Yeah, I know Jeezy has an Asian wife too. Like I say, I still love Jay Chappelle. I still love my brothers and sisters. But when it's front line, when it's time for wartime, I can't trust you. I just can't. You know what I'm saying? I can't trust you. Because at the end of the day, how are we going to fight systematic white supremacy when you're sleeping with a member of the team? When you're sleeping with a member of the team, I can't be trusted. You can't be trusted, bro. You dig? Shout out to Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp, he had a white fiance. Brother had to let her go. Shout out to Shannon Sharp. He had a white fiance, and now all of a sudden they canceled the wedding. Our brother, you know what I'm saying? I heard a brother put that flashing camera from Get Out in his face. Brother snapped out of it. Because Shannon Sharp be saying some good things, and I think that brother realized at the end of the day, because he went to Savannah State, he went to a HBCU. And I think he realized at the end of the day, I can't make that move. I can't make that move. You know what I'm saying? And our brother Shannon Sharp, he said, nah, I can't do that. I can't do that. You know, so shout out to Shannon Sharp. Shout out to Shannon Sharp. Yeah, Kobe, you know, and you know, I don't even want to really talk about Kobe. You know, I just say, you know, he had him a white Latin. And I heard that's why Kobe's family, and no disrespect to Kobe, and I'm going to just leave it at that. No, I ain't even going to talk about that. May Kobe rise in power. May he rise in power. Yeah, man. You know, you got to get your sister on the team, man. The black woman going to take you to the next level at the end of the day. The black woman going to take you to the next level at the end of the day. There is no revolution without the black woman. Speaking from a black man's perspective. There is no revolution without the black woman. You know, like I say, we don't just love the black woman for her physical attributes. We know she's a dime. She's a 10. She's the most beautiful woman on the face of the earth. Every woman aspires to be like the black woman. You got all these white women getting butt implants. They're trying to be like black women. They're putting damn, what are they doing with their lips now? They're doing lip injections. They're trying to get the quote unquote big lips like black woman. They've always admired the black woman from a distance. They've always been jealous of her from a distance. They copy our hairstyles. They call them the Kardashian braids now. But we know black women have been rocking cornrows since the beginning of damn time. You see what I'm saying? So we know physically that there's no comparison. But the black woman loyalty, the black woman's intelligence is something that it can't even be compared to. We have to understand, you have black women like 20,000 years ago. It was a black woman who invented the first calculator, the Shango bone, 20,000 years ago. You see what I'm saying? In Central Africa. It's called the Ashango bone. You had many black women like Queen Amerinus who were riding and dying. Queen Amerinus is the reason why the Roman Empire could not go down into Sudan and Ethiopia. She was the one controlling that territory. You know, you had a queen by the name of Queen, I forgot her name's Kahia, but she was the one who kept the Arabs out. Notice how the Arabs, they're in northern Africa. They never could go into further, deeper Central Africa or Southern Africa because it was a black woman who kept them out. You see what I'm saying? You have black women like Queen Nanny of the Maroons who got the British up out of Jamaica. You have black women like Carlotta in Cuba. Every revolution had a black woman behind it. Something I want y'all to remember, you had black women like Ida B. Wells. Ida B. Wells was a rider. We don't talk about Ida B. Wells enough. Ida B. Wells was a rider. Ida B. Wells was somebody who, by herself, went around in Klan country and documented lynchings. She was the one who was writing papers talking about they lynching brothers and sisters down in the South. She was calling out these white supremacists back in the early 1900s when it was real dangerous to do so. You see what I'm saying? Ida B. Wells was a rider. She didn't get down physically maybe like Queen Nanny or Queen Amerinus, but she was a rider. She was documenting those lynchings, spreading the word like, hey, this is what they doing to black folks in the Americas. She was putting those papers out all across the country. She's the reason why we know how many people were lynched. Over 3,000 people were lynched. That's just documented. You did? She was a rider. You know, we have black women who set up empires and civilizations and cities. You know, one of the first black women out there in California, in Los Angeles, Biddy Mason. Biddy Mason set down the foundations really for L.A. They don't talk about that enough. She was one of the first millionaires in L.A. was a black woman by the name of Biddy Mason. See, the black woman has always set that foundation in home everywhere she's went. Everywhere she went. You dig? Yeah, the Haitian Revolution, the most successful slave revolution in history. I will argue the Haitian Revolution, the 1804 Haitian Revolution, was probably the greatest military victory of all time. White, black, Chinese, anything. You're talking about a half of an island. Haiti is half of an island. Defeated some of the biggest world powers that ever existed. And black women were behind that. You had black women like Sonny Belair, who was a general during the Haitian Revolution. You had Queen Fatima, who was the spiritual leader. And she offered spiritual nutrients to soldiers. You see what I'm saying? Queen Fatima. You have so many queens. So many queens. You had a Queen Solitude down there in the Virgin Islands of Guanape, I believe it's called. Guanape. She led one of the slave revolts. You had the three queens of the Virgin Islands who ended slavery in the Virgin Islands for about a year. They took over the whole Virgin Islands. 3 queens. Yeah, man. Listen, bro. Our queens, black women are riders. Black women are riders. Now, where is this but the white woman? Now, tell me, where are the white women who went to bat for black folks? I'll wait. I'm going to sit in the chat room and I'll just wait for that. Tell me about the white women who picked up guns and picked up knives and went to war with these white supremacists about what they were doing to black men, women, and children. Yeah, I ain't even talk about Queen Nzinga. That's just light work. I could literally go all day talking about queens. Y'all don't know how many black women have rose up and fought for the black men, for other black women, for the black child. And I'm talking about going back thousands of years. You dig? Yeah. We can wait on the white woman. White woman, we don't have no history of that, but we have a history of her oppressing motherfuckers. We have the Margaret Sangers of the world, who was practicing eugenics on black people, who introduced Planned Parenthood. We can talk about white women and oppressing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we could talk about white women down there in New Orleans, like what's her name? What was the slave owner? It was a white slave owner down in New Orleans. Maria, I think her name was Maria something. But yeah, she was a notorious slave owner down there in New Orleans. She was known for torturing her slaves. You dig? We could talk about the white women now. You don't see them riding for black men. We got to go through the history now. We gotta go through the history. Yeah, man. Black woman is a rider, bro. Black woman been a rider since day one. Even behind Dr. King. Remember, behind all these brothers, you had strong black women. That's why, that's why in volume 2, I got a section called Queen Queen where we talk about the black woman as God. You got to remember, behind Malcolm, you had Betty. Betty was a rider. Remember, Betty Shabazz saw Malcolm shot in front of her. Shot in front of the kids, and she raised, I believe, what did Malcolm have? 5 daughters? She had a daughter in her stomach. And she raised successful, strong black women. That takes a strong black woman to watch something like that. And remember, when Malcolm died, Malcolm didn't leave behind anything. Malcolm was broke. Malcolm was broke when he passed away. All his funds were tied up. But she raised those children to become successful black women. You know what I'm saying? Behind Dr. King, there was Coretta. Even behind voting in the South, you had a woman by the name of Septima Clark. Septima Clark was one of the women who taught black people how to vote in the South. She never gets any credit. She set up some of those early voting vocational schools. You see what I'm saying? Septima Clark. You had a black woman by the name of Ella Baker. Ella Baker was the black woman who, once we got arrested in the 60s at these protests, Ella Baker would go and she would set up the bail money. She was the woman behind that who organized the bail money, who organized with a protest. Because remember, you didn't have no Twitter back then. You didn't have no Instagram, so how did people know when to protest? How did people know when to do X, Y, and Z? How did people know where Dr. King was speaking? What to do? X, Y, and Z. Remember, the white media wasn't promoting this. The white media wasn't like, hey, if you're a Negro, come down 5 o'clock, Selma Bridge, be there. If you want equality. No, it was Ella Baker was doing that. She was making sure, okay, by our calculations, we're going to need about $5,000 in bail money. We gotta get Dr. King out. She was the one organizing and running all that. Queen Mother Ella Baker. Yes, indeed. You got black women powerful behind every movement. Behind every movement. Yeah. No. The black woman is a rider. Yeah, no woman can endure that. No woman can endure that. Like I say, the black woman she's built different. She's the original woman, though. We got to remember that. The black woman is the original woman. All of us come from a black woman. All races come from a black woman. All races come from a black woman. Going back about 200 to 300,000 years ago. Mitochondrial Eve. That's the common mother of all people. You see what I'm saying? A black woman in Central Africa. Now, you're going to have mutations. You have mutations of the black woman. Yeah, the black woman is God. We got the utmost respect for the black woman, though, at the end of the day. So, it's bigger than, I don't even like when we just talk about the black woman physically. Oh, she thick, she that. That's cool, but you know what I'm saying? That's a bonus. But the black woman been a rider. She was the one, educating us and feeding us that nutrients, that consciousness. You got to remember, too, there was more black women in the Black Panther Party than black men. That's something that's never talked about. There was more black women in the Black Panther Party than black men at one point. Bobby Seale teaches us this. I believe Bobby Seale did a survey in 1965 that showed that. He said there's more women. It was about 60% black women. And I'm not talking about black women in the kitchen cooking. I'm talking about black women toting guns, front line when it's wartime. You dig? Yeah, they had to break the black family. They had to break the black. That's what they did during slavery. That's the reason why slavery lasted so long, because they said if you take a black family and you put them on the same ship, you send them to the same plantation, that's a problem. Because they always going to have that knowledge of self. The black father always going to be riding. They stick, that core value is sticking together. So what you do is you take the black child, you put him on one ship. You take the black father, you put him on another ship. You take the black mother, you put her on another ship. You separate the black family. That's the first thing they did during slavery. Oh, that's a family? Separate them. Then once you separate them, you take them to the Caribbeans. You take them to the Caribbeans, because remember, in the Caribbeans, they had those seasoning plantations. And on those seasoning plantations, what they would do is they would whip the slave. They would buck break the slave. They would take the men, tie them up. These are facts. Places like Jamaica, and rape them. rape them in front of the women to break them. They want to show you this is your protector, and look what I'm doing to your protector. I'm your protector now. That's what the white man was saying. They will rape them. So you had to take them to those seasons plantations. You had to break the black family. You had to break the original Holy Trinity. Because remember, our ancestors in Kemet said the original Holy Trinity is Asar, Aset, and Haru, the black man, woman, and the child. And all concepts are built around that mentality. You know what I'm saying? Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. That comes from Asar, Aset, and Haru, the original. You know what I'm saying? Black man, woman, and child. So they said we got to break up this Trinity. We got to break up this Trinity. And even when we release them back into slavery, then we pit one against another. You see what I'm saying? They told women at one point, they said in order for to get your welfare, you can't have no man in the house. You can't have no man in the house. You got to get rid of that man. We got to pit one against each other. We got to always have them fight. When black men die, we're going to promote the black man dying, but we're not going to promote the black women. We know that's going to cause dysfunction in the black community. You see what I'm saying? We know that's going to cause it. Yeah. All that. We got to promote homophobia. We got to promote homosexuality. We got to make it cool to be that. We got to make it cool to be homosexual. You dig? We got to make it where nobody can say anything about this. Nobody can say anything about this. We got to make it cool. It's part of the game. You said anybody pick it. What are y'all talking about, family? Yes, indeed. But, man, I'm about to get out of here real quick. Like I said, man, I'm going to ask a few more questions. But, like I said, go get Voice of the Ancestors Volume 1 and 2, man. Y'all been showing me so much love and support. Like I say, it's ranked right now on Amazon. Number 35, last time I checked, Voice of the Ancestors Volume 1 is ranked. Number 35 in Ancient Egyptian History. And we're talking about out of millions of books. Remember, this is an all-times list. It's been 35, and it came out last year. You know, so this has been consistently in the top 100 books in ancient Egyptian history. And it's not an ancient Egyptian history book. That's the crazy thing. Ancient Egyptian history is something that's maybe about 10% of the book. So, you know, for it to rank in that category is a blessing, man. It's a true blessing. So I appreciate all the love and support from the family. I appreciate all the love and support for the family. I think it's a black owned bookstore. Somebody asked me about a black owned bookstore. It's one down here in Atlanta. I think it's called Nubian Bookstore. I've never even been to it. I've been trying to find me a black owned bookstore. I just found out about this recently. I think it's called Nubian Bookstore. I'm gonna check it out though, because I want to do a book signing down here in Atlanta for Volume 3. Do you see Africa uniting soon? I hope they will unite, but it's too many players at play in Africa, because you got to remember, Northern Africa is pretty much controlled by Arabs. Arabs are honorary white supremacists. Remember, the Arab slave trade against African people was longer than the Channel slave trade down here with white folks. Arabs have been enslaving African people for longer than Europeans. So I don't know if that can come about. Now, the last person who tried to do it was Gaddafi, and Gaddafi was very successful. Gaddafi was almost pulled it off, but the CIA got involved and they assassinated him. Shout out to Hillary Clinton for that. Some of y'all were trying to put Hillary in office after that. You dig? So, you know, the United States of Africa, that would be a beautiful thing, because that would be something that is very powerful, because you got to understand that Africa is the motherland. Africa has all the resources it needs to survive. Africa does not need any other continent. Literally. It has all the resources one would need. So do I think it can happen? I think it can happen, but people are going to have to get on code. And we're going to have to get these oppressors out of North Africa. That's another thing, that are enslaving our people. Like I said, in Libya right now, you have Arabs who are enslaving African people. We're going to have to get them up out the paint, bro. All my brothers and sisters in Africa, we're going to have to get them up out the paint. You dig? And we're going to have to make it happen. That's kind of like the same question people ask me, do you think we can get reparations? If we get on code, we can do anything we put our mind to. We can do anything we put our mind to. And this is why I like to tell African people about our victories. A lot of us really believe in our hearts we can't defeat white people. They're too powerful. We love to think that, family, we can defeat anybody. We can overthrow systematic white supremacy. We can overthrow systematic white supremacy if we get in code. Bottom line. Yeah. If we get on code, we can overthrow it. Okay, you said Nubian Bookstore, Mount Zion Road, near South Lake. Yeah, I thought it was called Nubian. I'm going to check it out, though. I'm going to check it out real soon. Yeah, exactly. A lot of them identify as white, too, by the way. A lot of them identify as white, too. And go out their way to deny Africans in that land. Let me go back and answer. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Shout out to my brother Pat, man. If y'all ever get a chance, check out the Rise of the Real podcast. That's the hottest podcast right now. You got young brothers like myself, my brother Pat, my brother Cal, all my brothers. You know what I'm saying? Who rocking with you, giving you real, authentic, raw conversations every day. Check out my brother's podcast right now. The Rise of the Real. In fact, I'm going to put it in the stories after I get done. Check that out. I know a lot of y'all be asking for content. So check out my brother's content right now. You know, my brother's doing tremendous things within the community, man. My brother's out here convincing these young athletes that are in our community to go to HBCUs, and that's what it starts with. That's what it starts with, controlling our content. You know what I'm saying? Gotta control our content. Gotta control our content, family. But like I say, I'm going to get out of here, family. I gotta go get some work done at the end of the day. But like I said, I appreciate all the love and support. Go get Voice of the Ancestors Volume 1, Volume 2. I'm going to put this live on YouTube. It's probably going to be up either Monday or Tuesday. Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to put the live on YouTube. I'll probably just put it all as one live. You know, combine the lives and put them all as one live. I usually do a part 1 and part 2, but I'm going to put that up like that. And if you have any questions, if I missed your question, just DM me the question. I'll answer the question in my DMs. I'll probably get to it later on tonight, though, because I got a lot of work to do. You did. But until next time, peace and black power. I'm out.